We came here to Lowell Correctional Institution, which is about an hour outside of Orlando, because this is the scene of where everything happened. We got a tip about this when it happened to Cheryl Wymore, and the details of what was being described to me really seemed unimaginable. It piqued my interest, and that's why I started digging into this story to try to figure out what and why an inmate would be beat to the point where they are now paraplegic.
Lowell Correctional Institution is the largest prison for women in the country. Most of the corrections officers here are men.
They're on us. Oh, we're with Channel 9.
About the safety of the inmates, so that's all.
Oh, really?
But,
yeah. Is your warden around, or are you a lieutenant or sergeant? Or?
I'm a captain.
Oh, you're a captain.
Major, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So which one of you would be the boss?
He would be. We can't speak to you. You have to go through Tallahassee.
Yeah, we're doing a story just in case you're wondering about what happened to Cheryl Wymore here at the prison.
We can't talk about it. You guys have to talk to our PIO, Public Affairs Officer in Tallahassee.
We made the drive to Fort Walton because we wanted to hear Cheryl Wymore's story from Cheryl Wymore. And she was released from the Department of Corrections early to a rehab center because she now requires 24/7 care because of her condition. And so we get here, and we're probably about 2.5 hours out from Fort Walton, and we get a call from the rehab center, and they said Cheryl's not here. So we're thinking, what happened? And it turns out she had to be rushed to the hospital in the overnight hours because she suffered an infection, which is a result of her permanent paraplegic state, a state she's only in because she was beaten by prison guards.
The lieutenant said, "Get on your knees and get in there and finish that toilet." I said, "I can't."
And so Cheryl was determined to do the interview with us. She wanted to share her story. So she allowed us to move forward with hearing from her. And it's very emotional.
All I see in front of me is a brick wall. A brick wall. And all I remember is my head went flying through.
Imagine she's handcuffed from behind, her head bobbled around the ground, causing eyewitnesses to believe that the officers were beating a dead inmate. According to this federal lawsuit, she settled for $4.6 million with the Department of Corrections.
Hi, are you Janice?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this. We
Thank you.
made the trip up to the Panhandle yesterday.
How is she?
You know, it was not what I expected. You know, it's different seeing pictures.
Janice Spears left Lowell after 15 years at various state prisons and is now an inmate advocate.
We paid Cheryl Wymore, but we haven't held anyone accountable. This is ridiculous. We have national issues that people are held accountable. What are we waiting for? Why isn't this a precedent? Why isn't it important?
What was your breaking point? Why did you leave?
I have never been on medication prior to working at Lowell. I was having panic attacks to the point I thought I was having a heart attack. Someone that you knew, would you be okay with them being treated or mistreated? And our laws say that they shouldn't be mistreated. In the Department of Corrections, they say care, custody, and control. First word, care. The first thing they taught me to do was not to care.
The DOC told us the FDLE and DOC Inspector General are still investigating more than 2 years later. FDLE stated in a separate email that its agents have worked more than 2,500 hours on this case alone.
What message is the state of Florida sending? It's been 2 years and no one's been charged.
When we litigated the case, we have, I think, over a dozen depositions of eyewitnesses who all professed to have seen what happened, testified to it, and we provided those to FDLE.
I hate every minute of it. It's like a slap in my face.
One of the officers accused of beating Cheryl, Keith Turner, was arrested on unrelated charges 3 months later. The other, Ryan Dion, was hired even though he had previously been accused of beating his girlfriend, though the case was dropped because she refused to cooperate. And he continued to work at Lowell until 8 days after the DOC settled the case with Cheryl.
We have a system clearly in place to address every criminal act or allegation of criminal act of a staff member.
These depositions show both officers invoked the Fifth Amendment when questioned about how Cheryl ended up like this.
And I remember telling my source, like, you've got to give me some proof that this actually happened because the details were so horrific. And he got me more proof. And that's when I started asking a lot of questions. A lot of times when you're trying to tell stories about people who are serving time in prison, it's hard to convince people why everyone should care. And the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Cheryl Wymore right now is that she is someone's daughter, she is someone's wife, she is someone's friend, and she will never ever be able to have the same quality of life that she would have had this not happened to her. She is paralyzed for the rest of her life.
Her case manager explained strict rules govern how she can use the settlement money that even Cheryl tells us she'd give back in a heartbeat.
She has to be fed. You have to brush her teeth. You have to give her a bath. You have to wash her hair for her. You have to roll her around in the bed because she does not have any dexterity in her upper extremities, even though she does have feeling now. She can't use them.
God, if I had just cleaned that last toilet, I wouldn't be here today. But I can't help. Yesterday is gone, and I can't change it. I'm broken. I'm bound. I can't change it. God, if I could change it, I would.